Hey guys, it's Mountain Hunter with a 30-hour, 129-mile review. Went through my first oil change, and I can tell you guys the biggest difference, things get smoother, a lot smoother. The issue I was having was mainly with getting into reverse. It was really, really difficult, kind of a pain in the ass, actually. I'd almost contemplated taking it to the dealer and be like, hey, what's going on with this thing, man? It won't, it's really, really difficult to get in reverse. Our 2003 Foreman, I mean, it's just smooth as butter, just shifts right in. But I got on a couple of the forums and found out after that first oil change that things would really smoothen up. The gear shifts, the DCT trans would be a lot smoother. And it really was really a big difference. I was kind of skeptical. It's kind of like, but yeah, it made a big difference, guys. Some of the other things that I've come to find out, small quirks. Your downhill engine braking, you only have the rear wheel engine braking. Little trick that I've learned, if you're going downhill and the rear end starts to slide out on you, tap your front brake, put it in full wheel drive, tap your front brake, it'll lock in, and then once you're in full wheel drive, then you'll have four wheel engine braking, which is so much better. But it took me a little while to kind of figure that out. The other, probably the main thing, is the auto ESP mode. The auto mode, don't even use it anymore. It works fine. There's no issues with it. Works exactly the way it's designed to. But the electronic shift in the DCT is so smooth and it engages so fast that I don't even like to ride in the auto setting anymore. It's kind of annoying now when I do, kind of waiting on the machine to shift. And if you're trying to ride aggressive, yeah, it's not gonna work for you. You're not gonna like it at all. Initially, when I reviewed it worked fine. But now that I'm up here in the mountains, this is kind of the terrain that I ride in, just to give you guys a little idea of kind of where I'm at. Yeah, the auto setting, man, I've not even touched that thing, and I don't know how long. It just annoys me now to do it. So do I think it's a good feature? I do. My wife loves it. She just doesn't like to worry about having to shift gear, so for her it's great. So there are some benefits to it, but I'm telling you, I don't even use the thing anymore. Let's see what else. Tires work really, really well as long as they're inflated to the proper pressure, which is something I had to find out the hard way. I took it straight from the dealer, didn't check it, took it up in the mountains, man, and was spinning everywhere I went. I was like, damn, these tires suck. So I'm gonna have to get, switch out the tires. These are horrible. Had my uncle hop on and ride it for the weekend, and he's like, man, your tires are way overinflated. So we checked the pressure on them, and the left front was at about 3.5 pounds, which is about right, and the rest of them were 22 to 23 pounds. So yeah, it was much better once we let the air. I think right now we're running, I'm running about 4 pounds in the rear and 3.5-4 pounds in the front, something like that. But man, it's great. I'm loving it. The LED lights, for as cheap as these things were, I was really skeptical, and it's the aux beam. The front LED and the two work lights in the back are both aux beams. These things work great, man. I've not even turned on the factory headlights. Actually, during hunting season, the LEDs were so bright once I got within probably a quarter to half mile of my actual hunting spot, I would turn the LEDs off and turn the factory lights back on, because they were just so bright. It's hard to explain once you get in the woods and it's 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you turn those damn things on. It looks like a spaceship going through the woods. It's crazy bright. But they work. I mean, they work awesome. Didn't think I would be using these rear lights near as much as I do, but man, these things are great. Probably the best modification I've really done to it. Power, not had any issues wanting more power at all. At first I thought, maybe I need to go a little bit bigger, maybe a 570 or a 700, something like that, maybe even 850. But man, I have been super impressed with this 500, actually a 475, but man, it's just a brute, man. It's just a hoss, especially in that low range setting. I mean, it'll go anywhere. It'll go places I really don't need to go. Thought I'd shoot a video for you guys today. I was primarily up here putting the little 6.5 Creedmoor through its paces. I'm gonna do some of those videos later on, but just got it put together and just up here testing it out a little bit. Trying to think of anything else for you guys, man. Runs great. Like I said, I'm at 30 and a half hours and 129 miles. And those are the biggest things that I'm seeing. The downhill braking, I noticed. The auto shift, like I said, I don't even use that anymore at all. The DCT, even the DCT shifting, it's gotten so much smoother. The first, I don't know, probably the first 10, 15 hours, just now getting it, broke in and up in the woods and riding it, it would shift kind of hard. I mean, not real hard, not abrasive or anything like that, but not near as smooth as it does now. Our 03 Foreman, man, that thing, I think it's got like 3,000 miles on it, and it shifts like butter. So I guess it just has to get a little bit of time on it, get a little wear and tear on it, and it'll just, it'll smooth up on its own. The seat comfort, oh man, the seat comfort on this thing is ridiculous compared to a Foreman. Now, a lot of people think that the Foreman and the Rubicon, the only difference is the independent rear suspension. No, there's a whole lot of differences, and I personally didn't know any of these. I thought the same thing. I was like, it's just the independent rear suspension, but evidently there's a lot of key differences. The seat being the major one. I can tell you, riding 6 and 7 hours, up here in these hills, running around all day, man. Even when I'm just poking around or running it hard, and I can get off of it, it doesn't even feel like I've been on an ATV that day. It doesn't wear you out. It doesn't fatigue you. You're acid and sore like all day, the rest of the day. The Foreman, however, I can be on it for half the time, man, and it just seems like I'm moving around in my seat. It's annoying. There's a big difference. So that's one of the things that most people, have no idea that, a lot of people don't even think about that when they go and shop one of these. The comfort of the seat, or the differences between the Rubicon and the Foreman. Let's see what else I can think for you guys. My little hitch back here. I think it's a Kurt or some shit. Yeah, little Kurt. I got that thing off Amazon for I want to say it was like $15. Man, this thing is great. This thing is awesome. Last year, November, shot a big whitetail. And sure enough, what does he do? Run right off of the other side of the hill. really, really steep. Man, this little thing right here saved my ass. This thing was great. Hooked some tow cable to this thing, hooked it around that buck, pulled him up on top of the hill. I mean, there's no way I could have drugged that thing up the hill. He field dressed almost 200 pounds. I mean, he was a hog. So just, you know, just little things like that, guys. I mean, really, really inexpensive. Make your life much, much easier. Well, that's about it right now. I really can't think of anything else. Fuel consumption. Fuel consumption is actually another big thing that I've noticed. This thing doesn't use any fuel, man. Even being up here in the hills, running it hard, going up these hills and just wearing it out, man, just full throttle, riding 5 and 6 hours. It seems like it doesn't use any fuel at all compared to our 03 Foreman. It's a carburetor, and man, it just, compared to this thing, it just seems like it sucks the fuel. So the gauge, I think there's 5 bars, and I rode a couple weeks ago, and I rode all day long. I mean, it was 8-9 hours just constantly riding in the mountains, and I think I used maybe 2 bars of fuel, something like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You can ride. It's one of the things about going to a bigger bore machine. People don't think about. They're like, yeah, they get sucked in by the power, and you know, like saying, hey, you know, I've got an 850, or I've got a 1000, or I've got something like that. Man, when you're out here running around in the woods, and you're actually trying to, you know, to go places, and not just running around trying to have fun, you know, kicking it sideways and throwing the power to it. Man, that's huge. That's great. I've been riding with people, and they have to go back and get fuel, or they have to carry extra fuel. This thing, that's never even been an issue, man. I don't even, you know, think about it. I'll go out in the woods and have 2 bars and not even think another thing about it, and ride, you know, 4 or 5 hours, and it's not even a concern. Well, guys, there she is, 30 hours, 129 miles. Subscribe, stick to the channel, and I'll update you guys as soon as I can. Like I said, there's going to be putting some rifle videos together once I get a chance. I'm gonna try to get a GoPro so I can get some better quality stuff. But just to give you a little brief description, put together just a factory Remington 700, nothing special. 6.5 Creedmoor. I put an H&S stock on it. I put a Trigger Tech primary trigger. Thing's awesome, guys. If you've not tried these things, they're great. Yeah, they're from Canada, but hey, they work really, really well. Put a Picatinny rail on it. I think this is a Seekins rail with a Leupold VX6 HD 3-18 by 50. Love this glass. Super bright. Got the exposed turrets, CDS 2 dials. Another thing, the mounts. The American Rifle Company, the ARC M110 mounts. These are the absolute best mounts I have ever used in my entire life. Very, very heavy duty, really overbuilt, super, super simple. You guys know, if you've tried to put a scope on before and you're trying to align the gap up in between your screws and oh man, it's such a pain in the ass. I don't even want to think about it. These are super simple, and you only have 4 bolts. You've got 1 on your pick rail, or actually 2 on your pick rail and 2 at the top. You unscrew these out and it just butterflies open. You set your glass down in it and you close. You just pinch these little things closed, and you can actually use, these are built into where you can actually use these slots as an indexing mark for level. So I put this rifle scope on in about 3 minutes. Didn't have to use a bubble level, anything like that. This thing alleviates all of that. You don't have to worry about the gaps. You just tighten it up and man, it is absolutely great. American Rifle Company ARC M110. If you guys got any questions about the ammo I'm shooting, how the gun's doing, or you're just interested in custom rifles, 6.5, whatever, just shoot me a message. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot.